Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a story that's a little different, a little more personal than what I usually share. It's a story about how my seemingly ordinary, slightly goofy cat Whiskers ended up saving my life. I know it sounds like something out of a movie, but I promise you every word is true. And I even have the footage to prove it. It all happened on a completely normal Tuesday night. You know the drill, finished work, had dinner, watched some TV, and then scrolled on my phone in bed until my eyes felt heavy. Whiskers was doing his usual thing, curled up in a tight little ball at the foot of my bed, purring like a tiny motor. I remember scratching him behind the ears before I drifted off, thinking how peaceful he looked. Little did I know that in just a few hours, that little furball would become my hero. So here's where things get serious. Unbeknownst to me, a small, slow gas leak had started from an old pipe connected to my heating system. It was odorless, colorless, and completely silent. It is the kind of thing you read about in safety pamphlets, but never imagined could happen to you. As I slept, the carbon monoxide levels in my room were slowly, steadily rising to a dangerous point. Around AM, something changed. I was in a deep sleep, but on my security camera footage, which I set up ages ago just to see what my pets get up to at night, you can see Whiskers stir. He lifts his head, sniffs the air, and his ears twitch. He's clearly agitated. He gets up, stretches, and starts pacing the length of the bed. It's not his usual I want breakfast pacing. This was different. He seemed anxious, almost frantic. He tried nudging my hand with his head, then my cheek. I just mumbled and rolled over, completely oblivious. This is the part of the video that still gives me chills. After his gentle attempts failed, Whiskers's behavior escalated. He started meowing, not his usual soft meows, but loud, guttural cries that I'd never heard from him before. He jumped onto my chest and started patting my face with his paws, claws retracted thankfully. When that didn't work, he literally started nibbling on my nose and batting at my eyelids. Looking back at the footage, you can see his desperation. It is like he knew something was terribly wrong and he was trying every trick in his feline playbook to wake me up. Finally, his persistence paid off. It was the combination of the loud meowing and the gentle but annoying pawing on my face that finally broke through the fog. I remember feeling so groggy and confused. My head was pounding, and I felt incredibly dizzy, almost like I was drunk. My first thought was just to push him away and go back to sleep, but he wouldn't let me. He jumped off the bed, ran to the door, looked back at me, and let out another one of those urgent meows. It was so out of character for him. Something in his panic behavior finally registered. I thought maybe there was a fire, even though I couldn't smell smoke. I stumbled out of bed, my legs feeling like jelly. The moment I stood up, a wave of nausea hit me and the room started spinning. I leaned against the wall, trying to get my bearings, and that's when I noticed Whiskers was still at the bedroom door, looking back at me, practically begging me to follow. I knew I had to get out of that room. I managed to open the door and practically fell into the hallway. The fresh air from the rest of the house felt like a slap in the face. It was only then that I started to realize how bad the air in my bedroom was. My carbon monoxide detector, which was embarrassingly old and I'd forgotten to test, had failed. It was silent. Whiskers was my detector. I fumbled for my phone and called emergency services, explaining that I suspected a gas leak. I grabbed Whiskers, stumbled out the front door, and sat on the steps, gulping in the cold night air. The emergency crew arrived incredibly fast. They went in with their detectors, and the readings were alarmingly high. The fire captain told me that if I had stayed in that room for another hour, I probably wouldn't have woken up. Those words hit me like a ton of bricks. I just sat there on the curb, hugging Whiskers so tightly, with tears streaming down my face. He just purred, rubbing his head against my chin, as if to say, "It's okay, I got you." The next day, after the gas company had fixed the leak and the house was aired out, everything felt surreal. I watched the security camera footage over and over again, seeing my little cat's determined efforts, his growing panic, and his refusal to give up on me. It's overwhelming. We hear stories about dogs saving their owners, but I'm here to tell you that cats are just as loyal, just as brave, and just as capable of being heroes. They might show their love in more subtle ways, but when it counts, they are right there. Whiskers got an entire gourmet salmon steak for his bravery, and he's been getting extra cuddles and treats ever since. This whole experience has completely changed my perspective. I'll never again underestimate that incredible bond we share with our animals. They are so much more than just pets. They are family, and in my case, a guardian angel with whiskers and a tail. I owe him my life, and I will spend the rest of it making sure he knows how much he is loved. So I wanted to share this story with you all as a reminder. Please check your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors regularly, and more importantly, pay attention to your pets. If they are acting strangely, don't just dismiss it. Their instincts are incredible, and they might be trying to tell you something vital. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It means a lot to share this with you. If you have a story about your own pet hero, I would absolutely love to read it in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like if it touched you and subscribe for more content. And of course, go give your pet a big hug from me and Whiskers. Until next time, stay safe.